But first, we learned this week that while America is not a systematically racist country, it sure does have a lot of racists. A lot of proud, powerful leftist racists who have no qualms about belittling people of colour who dare stray from the leftist reservation and deign to think for themselves. And boy, didn't they come out of the woodwork when Senator Tim Scott delivered the Republicans' response to President Biden's first address to Congress.
America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present.
The senator is right. America is not a racist country, except for the obsessive race baiters in the media, academia and political class who want to see the country divided. They were so desperate to prove Senator Scott wrong that they resorted to racial slurs to attack him. So much so that as he delivered that speech and for hours later, Twitter allowed Uncle Tim to trend on its platform. This is a site that managed to ban from its platform the New York Post's entirely accurate reporting on the Biden files, but somehow they allowed an ugly racial slur to trend for hours. Now, Tim Scott never said that racism in America doesn't exist or that racism wasn't a problem, but that instances of racism do not amount to systematic racism nor make the country racist. What he said was, of course, factual and rational, and even Kamala Harris said the following day, "I don't think America is a racist country." But when a conservative black man or woman speaks up in defence of America, the left feels emboldened to show their true ugly colours. CNN, MSNBC and CBS went into attack mode. And we even had blackface enthusiasts lecturing a black man whose grandfather worked in the cotton fields about what racism really means.
Tim Scott, he does not seem to understand, and a lot of them don't seem to understand, the difference between a racist country and a systemic racism. They don't seem to get the difference. Yes, maybe it's not a racist country. Maybe Americans, the majority, are not racist. But we live in a country with systemic racism. We discussed it this week again already about housing and about education and all of the things that are important to people. And the fact that Tim Scott cannot acknowledge this is appalling. How can you go out there and say that?
Then we had Jimmy Blackface Kimmel chime in with this hilarious jibe.
An amazing thing happened after the speech. Every black Republican senator got together to let the American people know the Republican Party isn't racist. And then Tim promptly returned to the sensory deprivation egg he calls home.
Yes, Tim Scott is the only black senator in the Republican Party. He's also the longest-serving black senator, bar one, Senator Edward Brooke, who was elected back in 1966, also by Republicans. And how many senators do the Democrats have? A total of 2. One of them sworn in just a few months ago. But this mockery of Tim Scott isn't really about the facts or figures. It's about putting him in his place. It's a message to other black and brown folk that you can expect similar treatment if you dare think for yourself and deviate from leftist groupthink. It's not a new tactic. They've been doing it for decades. Here is Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas responding eloquently to the vile campaign against him from the Democrats and their media lapdogs.
As a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured.
That was 1991, and sadly, not much has changed. If you're a conservative woman, or conservative minority, you will be attacked, often with sexist and racist language, to bully you into silence. It's more important than ever to take a stand against these new age racists. In 2021, the only systematic racism is from the left, who push critical race theory, a poisonous, intellectually bankrupt doctrine that amounts to state-enforced racism. The very people who claim the West is institutionally racist are trying to institute racism into schools and workplaces. As is often the case with the left's cultural Marxists, they are everything they purport to hate.